Good evening, friends. Let me share something with you. Life, as simple as it may seem, is filled with opportunities and mistakes. Today, I want to talk about 10 mistakes you should never make in your life. These are the errors that can cost you more than you realize. But with awareness, you can avoid them, and with determination, you can rise above them. Let's begin. First, never neglect your personal development. Let me tell you this, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, but you are also the product of what you choose to feed your mind. Personal growth is not something you do once and forget about. It's an ongoing journey. Success doesn't just happen. It's earned every single day through learning, reading, and challenging yourself. You never stop growing because your mind is your most valuable asset. Second, never avoid responsibility. Take full ownership of your life. Own your decisions. Own your actions. The moment you start blaming others for your circumstances is the moment you lose control. You're in the driver's seat of your own life, and it's time you realize that. If you're not where you want to be, don't point fingers, point to yourself and ask, what can I do to change this? The power is always in your hands. Third, never go through life without clear goals. Let me tell you something, a ship without a destination is lost at sea. What are you sailing toward? If you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there. Goals give you direction. They give you purpose. They provide the fuel for your ambition. Set clear goals and make sure they're written down. Make sure they excite you. Because without them, life will pass you by, and you'll never know the greatness you could have achieved. Fourth, never procrastinate. Time is not your friend, it's your most valuable resource. Every minute you waste is one you'll never get back. The future is built on the actions you take today, not tomorrow. Take the first step. Move forward, even when it's uncomfortable. It's not about doing everything perfectly, it's about taking consistent action. Make today count, because tomorrow will be shaped by what you do right now. Fifth, never surround yourself with negative people. You must be mindful of the people you let into your life. Negative people bring you down, they drain your energy and cloud your vision. And if you're surrounded by them long enough, you'll start thinking like them. Remember, you become like the people you spend time with, so choose your circle wisely. Seek out those who lift you up, who encourage you and who challenge you to be better. Sixth, never ignore your health. Here's the truth, if you don't take care of your body, you won't have the energy to dream dreams. The health is the foundation on which everything else is built. You need both mental and physical strength to pursue your goals. So make time to exercise, make time to eat right, take care of yourself, because without health, nothing else matters. 7, never settle for mediocrity. Mediocrity is the enemy of greatness. Don't get comfortable with just getting by. Push for excellence in everything you do, whether it's your job, your relationships, or your personal life. You have untapped potential within you. Don't let the fear of failure stop you from reaching for the stars. Excellence is a habit, choose it daily. 8, never stop believing in yourself. The moment you lose faith in yourself, the battle is over. Believe in your abilities, even when the world doubts you. There will be times when things seem impossible, but remember, it's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. You keep that belief alive and never let it die. 9, never fear change. Change is inevitable. Growth requires change. Don't fear it. Embrace it. The world is constantly evolving, and so should you. If you're not growing, you're dying. Adapt to new challenges. Learn from every experience and use it to build the future you desire. And lastly, 10, never let fear hold you back. Fear is an illusion. It's nothing more than a thought. And it's something that can be overcome. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These are the things that paralyze us. But let me tell you, it's in those moments of fear that you will find your strength. You don't let fear be the reason you never pursue your dreams. Let it be the reason you become unstoppable. So remember, folks, your life is the sum of the choices you make. Avoid these 10 mistakes and you'll find yourself on the path to greatness. Take action now. Make today count. The life you want is out there. It's waiting for you to step into it. One of the biggest mistakes you can make in life is neglecting personal development. This mistake is insidious because it often happens gradually, almost imperceptibly, and before you know it, years have passed without any significant growth. The people often think of personal development as something you do when you have time or something that's optional. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Personal development is a non-negotiable part of success and fulfillment. It's the difference between living a life full of missed opportunities and living a life of purpose and achievement. Personal development is the process of improving yourself through conscious habits, education, and self-awareness. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about building knowledge, improving your mindset, and developing the skills needed to not just survive but thrive in this world. Life is always changing. The world around us is evolving at a rapid pace, and if you're not continuously developing yourself, you'll find yourself left behind. The competition, whether in your career, your relationships, or your personal goals, never stops growing, learning, and adapting. So why should you? Think about the people who you admire most. What do they have in common? It's not just that they are naturally talented, though talent may play a role. More often, it's because they are committed to learning and improving every single day. They invest in themselves. They don't wait for opportunities to come to them. They create their own opportunities by improving their skills, their knowledge, and their attitudes. When you stop developing yourself, you stop preparing for what's next. You become stagnant, and stagnation is the enemy of progress. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you learned something new, something that challenged your thinking or expanded your thinking or expanded your understanding? If you can't remember, then that's a red flag. It's so easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life, to focus on getting through the day, that we forget to work on ourselves. But here's the thing, if you don't invest in your personal development, you're essentially betting against yourself. You're telling the world that you don't believe you can be better, that you're content with where you are. That's not a mindset that will take you far. The good news is that personal development doesn't have to be a huge, overwhelming task. It doesn't require dramatic changes overnight. It starts with small, consistent actions. Reading books that expand your thinking, setting time aside to reflect on your goals, seeking mentorship, or learning new skills that will take you to the next level. Personal development is about being proactive in your own growth. It's not something that happens by chance. It's a conscious decision you make every day. And it's not just about gaining knowledge. It's about applying that knowledge. It's one thing to read a self-help book, but it's another to implement the lessons from that book in your life. You have to be willing to take action and make the necessary adjustments in how you approach life. Without action, knowledge is just potential. And potential is useless unless you put it into practice. Personal development also includes developing a strong mindset. How you think about yourself, how you handle setbacks, and how you view challenges will determine your success. A growth mindset, one that embraces challenges and sees failures as lessons, is essential. If you're not actively working on your mindset, it will be easy to fall into negative thought patterns and limit your own potential. So never make the mistake of neglecting personal development. It's a lifelong journey that pays dividends in every area of your life. If you want to create a future full of opportunity, fulfillment, and success, then commit to your growth every single day. The life you desire is not going to fall into your lap. It's created through the decisions you make today. One of the most detrimental mistakes you can make is avoiding responsibility for your life. This mistake often begins with small actions, or rather the lack of them, and grows into a pattern that can ultimately limit your potential and your happiness. When you avoid responsibility, you give away control over your life, leaving your future up to chance, other people, or external circumstances. This is not a path to success or fulfillment. Taking responsibility is not just about acknowledging your role in your actions, but it's about recognizing that you are in charge of the direction of your life. No one else can live your life for you or determine your success. That's on you. Too many people spend their lives blaming others, whether it's their parents, their upbringing, their job, or the economy, for where they are or what they haven't achieved. This may feel justified in the moment, especially when things are tough, but it ultimately robs you of the power to change. The truth is, life isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean you can't rise above the circumstances you find yourself in. In fact, it's in those moments of hardship where personal growth and strength are forged. The key to overcoming adversity is to take full responsibility for your situation and take action to improve it. You can't wait for someone else to fix your problems. When you do that, you're relinquishing control over your own life. You're putting your future in the hands of someone else, which is a dangerous thing to do. You might find yourself stuck, constantly waiting for the right moment, the right person, or the right opportunity. But here's the reality. The right moment will never come unless you create it. The right person won't come unless you take action to improve yourself and put yourself in a position to attract the right people. Taking responsibility means recognizing that your life is a reflection of your choices. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every attitude you hold plays a part in shaping your life. If you're unhappy with where you are, it's time to take a hard look at the choices you've made. It's easy to blame others, to make excuses, or to say that you didn't have control over the situation. But the fact is, every person has a level of influence over their own circumstances. It's about making different choices, changing your approach, and taking action to create the life you want. Taking responsibility is also crucial when it comes to your growth. You can't expect to improve if you don't acknowledge where you need improvement. Self-awareness is key to personal development. Without it, you're living in denial. How can you grow if you're not willing to face your weaknesses, learn from your mistakes, and take ownership of your failures? Every failure is an opportunity for learning, but only if you take responsibility for it. The more you own up to your actions, the more power you have to shape your future. Taking responsibility isn't about perfection. It's about accountability and the willingness to take charge of your own life. It's about knowing that you hold the keys to your success. Yes, life can throw curveballs, but how you respond is entirely up to you. So stop waiting for things to change or for someone else to step in. Your life, your success, your happiness, all of these things are yours to create. It's time to take full responsibility for your life and start shaping your future today. Another major mistake that holds many people back is the failure to set clear, specific goals. Without goals, you are essentially drifting through life without any clear direction. It's like being in a car without a map or GPS. Sure, you're moving forward, but where are you going? What's your destination? Goals are the roadmap that guide you toward your dreams. They give your life purpose, focus, and direction. Without them, you're at the mercy of life's unpredictability, and you may end up exactly where you didn't want to be. Goals give you something to work toward. They're not just about achieving a specific outcome, they're about creating a vision for your future and charting a course toward it. When you set goals, you create a sense of urgency and importance in your daily life. You begin to think more intentionally about your time, energy, and resources. Goals help you prioritize what truly matters and eliminate distractions that take you away from your purpose. When you wake up every day with a clear sense of what you need to do, you're more likely to take action, stay motivated, and push through challenges. Many people make the mistake of setting vague, non-specific goals and then wonder why they don't achieve them. A goal like "I want to be successful" is too broad and abstract. What does success mean to you? How do you measure it? A clear goal might be, "I want to earn $100,000 this year," or "I want to run a marathon in 6 months." These goals are specific, measurable, and actionable. When you define your goals with precision, you increase your chances of achieving them because you know exactly what you need to do to get there. Setting goals also allows you to track your progress. Without goals, it's difficult to measure your success. You might feel like you're working hard, but without a clear benchmark for achievement, you may not recognize the progress you're making. Goals give you milestones to hit, and they allow you to celebrate your victories along the way. When you break big goals into smaller, manageable steps, you not only keep yourself motivated, but also build momentum as you accomplish each task. Most importantly, goals are a way of taking control of your future. You can't leave your life up to chance or wait for circumstances to change. The act of setting goals forces you to take responsibility for what you want and commit to the actions needed to achieve it. If you don't set clear goals, life will pass you by, and you'll wonder where all the time went. But when you set goals, you make the most of every day, every opportunity, and every challenge. Life becomes a journey of intentional progress towards something meaningful and fulfilling. So don't make the mistake of not setting goals. Take control of your future by setting clear, actionable goals today. But one of the most damaging mistakes you can make is procrastination. It's the silent thief of time and opportunity. Procrastination is a habit that holds countless people back from reaching their full potential. The delay of important tasks or dreams, often trivial or fleeting reasons, can result in missed opportunities, frustration, and regret. The truth is, procrastination is not a harmless behavior. It's an act of avoidance that keeps you from taking the necessary steps to achieve your goals, pushing your dreams further away, and putting off the success you could be experiencing right now. Time is the one resource you cannot get back, and every time you procrastinate, you waste precious moments that could be used to build the life you want. The reasons people procrastinate are numerous, but the underlying cause is usually a lack of discipline or fear of failure. The fear of making mistakes, fear of not doing something perfectly, or fear of the task being too difficult can paralyze you into inaction. But here's the catch: waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect set of circumstances rarely leads to success. Perfection is a myth. If you don't act, you will never learn or grow. Every moment spent avoiding the task is a moment you could have spent gaining experience, improving your skills, or moving closer to your goals. Procrastination feeds on your self-doubt and fear. The longer you avoid the task, the harder it becomes to begin. And the longer you wait, the more regret builds, adding to the mental load of guilt and self-criticism. Moreover, procrastination creates a false sense of security. You might feel that by putting off a decision or task, you're avoiding stress, but in reality, you're simply delaying the inevitable. The task doesn't go away, it waits, and it often becomes more overwhelming with time. Instead of tackling the problem head on, you find yourself scrambling later, which increases your stress levels and reduces the quality of your work. Procrastination keeps you from creating momentum. Momentum is the energy that propels you toward success, and it's fueled by consistent action. When you procrastinate, you disrupt that momentum, making it harder to get started and maintain progress. The key to overcoming procrastination is to shift your mindset. Understand that action, even imperfect action, is better than inaction. Break your task down into smaller, manageable steps. Rather than focusing on the overwhelming scope of a large project, tackle one small part at a time. This will build your confidence and allow you to gain momentum. The sooner you take the first step, the sooner the task will lose its power over you. Every small action you take helps you overcome the inertia of procrastination and creates the foundation for success. The best way to stop procrastinating is simply to start and keep going. Another significant mistake people often make is surrounding themselves with negative individuals. The people you spend time with influence your mindset, attitude, and overall perspective on life. If you're constantly around individuals who are pessimistic, critical, or unsupportive, it's inevitable that their negativity will seep into your own thoughts and behavior. Negative people can drain your energy and make it harder for you to maintain a positive outlook. They often focus on what's wrong rather than what's possible, which can leave you feeling stuck in your own life. When you're around negative influences, it's easy to adopt their way of thinking. Their doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs can start to affect how you view your own potential. They may discourage you from pursuing your dreams, or worse, make you question your abilities. Negative energy can create an environment where growth is stifled and you begin to settle for less than you deserve because the people around you have lowered their own expectations. Over time, you may become complacent and start to think that their narrow view of the world is the reality for everyone. But that is not true. There are people who are out there striving, pushing boundaries, and achieving extraordinary things, and their influence is far more valuable than the negativity of those who choose to remain stuck in their own limiting beliefs. To protect yourself from the corrosive effects of negativity, it's essential to evaluate who you spend your time with. Your inner circle should be filled with individuals who inspire you, support your growth, and challenge you to be better. These people should encourage you to pursue your dreams and lift you up when you're feeling down. They should share your values and aspirations and hold you accountable for your actions. The company you keep has a significant impact on your life, so be selective about who you allow into your personal space. Surround yourself with those who push you to grow, learn, and succeed. Let go of relationships that drain your energy or keep you from realizing your potential. Remember, the more you surround yourself with positive, like-minded individuals, the more likely you are to adopt a mindset of growth, possibility, and success. You'll find that your own attitude shifts, your ambitions grow, and your results improve. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with, so make sure your circle reflects the person you want to become. Lastly, ignoring your health is a mistake that many people make without realizing the true cost. It's easy to put your physical and mental well-being on the back burner when you're focused on your career, finances, or personal goals. But the reality is, your health is the foundation of everything else. Without good health, it's almost impossible to achieve your dreams or fully enjoy the fruits of your labor. If you neglect your health, you are undermining your ability to perform at your best in every area of life. When you're not taking care of your body, whether it's through exercise, eating healthy, or getting enough rest, you're compromising your energy, focus, and stamina. Poor health leads to fatigue, reduced concentration, and a weakened immune system, all of which hinder your ability to work at peak performance. You might think that working long hours or pushing through exhaustion will get you ahead, but over time, it only drains you and diminishes your productivity. The body is your greatest asset. It's the vessel through which you experience everything in life. If you don't treat it with care, you'll find that you won't be able to pursue your goals with the same vigor and enthusiasm as you would if you were healthy. Maintaining your health is not just about physical fitness, it's about mental well-being as well. Stress, anxiety, and burnout can wreak havoc on your productivity and emotional state. Taking time for relaxation, mindfulness, and mental rejuvenation is just as important as eating the right foods or exercising. Your mind and body work together, and when one is out of balance, the other suffers. Make your health a priority, because without it, no success or achievement is truly sustainable. Prioritize self-care and develop habits that support your overall well-being. When you take care of your health, you increase your chances of living a long, productive, and fulfilling life with the energy and vitality needed to pursue your dreams. One of the most common mistakes that many people make is failing to set clear, specific goals. Goals are the driving force behind success. They are the blueprint that guides your actions and decisions. Without them, life can feel aimless, and you may find yourself drifting through each day without any real sense of purpose or direction. When you don't set clear goals, it's easy to become distracted by life's demands and to lose sight of what really matters. The world is full of distractions and opportunities that can lead you off track, and without a clear goal, you can easily get lost in the noise. Having clear goals gives you focus. It allows you to prioritize what's most important and to direct your energy and resources toward achieving specific outcomes. Goals serve as a constant reminder of where you want to go and what you need to do to get there. They also allow you to measure your progress, giving you a sense of accomplishment along the way. But the key is to set goals that are not only specific, but also challenging enough to push you beyond your comfort zone. Vague goals like "I want to be successful" or "I want to be healthy" are not actionable because they don't provide clear steps or targets. Specific goals, such as "I want to earn $100,000 this year," or "I want to run a marathon in 6 months," give you something tangible to work toward and a sense of urgency that drives you into action. The mistake of not setting clear goals can lead to frustration and confusion. You may feel like you're working hard, but without clear milestones or objectives, it's difficult to know if you're making real progress or just going through the motions. Goals give you a sense of direction and help you stay aligned with your purpose. They allow you to measure success and stay motivated, especially when things get tough. The process of setting and achieving goals also builds confidence. Every time you accomplish something you set out to do, you gain momentum, and your belief in your ability to succeed grows stronger. Procrastination is another mistake that holds many people back from reaching their potential. Putting off important tasks or decisions only delays your progress and makes everything seem more overwhelming. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. It keeps you from taking action, and without action, you can't achieve anything. People procrastinate for various reasons: fear of failure, feeling overwhelmed by the size of the task, or simply lacking motivation. But procrastination is a dangerous cycle because the longer you delay, the harder it becomes to get started, and the greater the pressure builds. When you procrastinate, you give in to fear and doubt. You tell yourself that you'll start later, that the task is too big, or that you need to wait for the perfect moment. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. There will always be challenges and distractions that try to pull you away from your goals. The key to overcoming procrastination is to take action, even if it's a small step. Once you begin, the task no longer feels as daunting. You gain momentum. The act of doing something is often the hardest part, but once you push through that initial resistance, you'll find that you're capable of much more than you thought. Another major mistake is surrounding yourself with negative people. The people you choose to spend time with have a profound impact on your mindset, attitude, and overall success. Negative individuals, those who complain, criticize, and hold limiting beliefs, can drain your energy and derail your progress. They will often project their own insecurities and doubts onto you, making it harder for you to stay positive and focused on your goals. When you surround yourself with negativity, it's easy to adopt that mindset and start doubting your own potential. Negative people have a way of making you feel small or inadequate, even if they don't intend to. Their lack of belief in themselves or their own dreams can lead them to discourage you from pursuing yours. And if you allow it, their negativity can become your own. The people in your inner circle should be those who lift you up, who encourage your growth, and who believe in the possibilities of your future. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, and who support your ambitions. This doesn't mean you should cut out everyone who is less than positive, but you must be mindful of how much influence they have over your mindset and goals. Ignoring your health is another critical mistake that can drastically affect your success. Without good health, everything else in life becomes harder to enjoy or achieve. Many people neglect their physical and mental well-being in pursuit of success, thinking that work or other priorities should come first. But this is a short-sighted approach. Your health is the foundation that supports everything you do. If you're not physically healthy, you won't have the energy, focus, or stamina to reach your full potential. Likewise, neglecting your mental health can lead to burnout, stress, and a lack of motivation. Good health doesn't just happen, it requires intentional effort. Eating right, exercising regularly, getting enough rest, and managing stress are all essential for maintaining your well-being. When you take care of your body and mind, you feel more energized, confident, and capable of tackling challenges. You are more focused, more productive, and more able to perform at your best. If you continue to ignore your health, you risk not only physical illness, but also mental fatigue, which can prevent you from pursuing your goals with the passion and energy you need to succeed. Investing in your health is an investment in your future. It's the most important asset you can nurture because everything else depends on it. By avoiding these mistakes, you can create a path to success that is fueled by focus, action, positivity, and well-being. Each of these elements is crucial for living a fulfilling life and reaching your goals. Don't let procrastination, negativity, lack of direction, or neglect of your health stand in the way of achieving the life you deserve. Take responsibility for your actions, set clear goals, surround yourself with positivity, and prioritize your health. These are the keys to unlocking your potential. One of the most significant mistakes that people make is failing to manage their time effectively. Time is the one resource that you can never get back once it's gone. Every second that passes is a second you can never recover. However, many people waste their time by procrastinating, getting distracted, or focusing on things that don't contribute to their long-term goals. This leads to feelings of frustration, regret, and the constant feeling that there's never enough time to get everything done. Time management is about making intentional choices regarding how you allocate your time. It's about understanding what tasks are truly important and how to prioritize them. The mistake people often make is thinking that all tasks are of equal importance, which causes them to scatter their energy in many different directions. As a result, they fail to focus on what truly moves them forward and instead find themselves overwhelmed by a long list of tasks that never seem to get completed. Effective time management means being able to identify your highest priority tasks and focusing on them first. It also involves learning how to say no to things that don't align with your long-term vision or that distract you from your core goals. If you learn to manage your time effectively, you gain more control over your day, reduce stress, and make consistent progress toward your ambitions. Another mistake people often make is staying in their comfort zones for too long. The comfort zone is a trap that keeps you from experiencing personal growth and achieving your full potential. It feels safe and familiar, but it's also a place where you can easily become stagnant. Staying in your comfort zone means avoiding challenges, fearing failure, and rejecting opportunities that would stretch you beyond your current abilities. It's a cycle of mediocrity that can hold you back for years if you let it. The problem with staying comfortable is that growth happens outside of your comfort zone. True progress comes from pushing yourself into unfamiliar situations that force you to learn, adapt, and evolve. If you never take risks or challenge yourself, you'll miss out on the opportunities that can lead to success and fulfillment. The discomfort that comes with growth is temporary, but the rewards of pushing through that discomfort last a lifetime. When you embrace challenges, you expand your skills, build confidence, and open yourself up to new possibilities. Avoiding discomfort ultimately keeps you stuck in a life of missed potential and untapped greatness. Failing to learn from past mistakes is another critical error that many people make. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned or when you experience failure. However, the most successful people are those who use their mistakes as learning opportunities. Each failure contains valuable lessons that, if acknowledged, can help you make better decisions in the future. The key is to reflect on your experiences, identify what went wrong, and use that knowledge to improve. The mistake comes when you allow your failures to define you or when you continue to make the same mistakes repeatedly without any effort to learn from them. Failure isn't the problem, it's the inability to learn from it. When you refuse to take responsibility for your mistakes or simply ignore them, you set yourself up for more of the same in the future. However, when you learn from your missteps, you gain wisdom that helps you move closer to success. In fact, many of the greatest achievements in history were the result of learning from mistakes and never giving up. Another mistake is relying too heavily on external validation. Many people seek approval and recognition from others, whether it's from friends, family, colleagues, or society at large. While seeking feedback is important, constantly relying on others for validation can undermine your self-confidence and prevent you from making decisions that align with your own values and goals. External validation often leads to a cycle of seeking approval instead of focusing on what truly matters to you. This mistake can cause you to constantly second-guess yourself, neglect your own desires, and make choices based on what others think is best for you rather than what you truly want. The danger of relying on validation is that it keeps you dependent on others' opinions, which can be inconsistent and unreliable. People's views of you can change over time, and depending on them for your sense of worth or direction is a recipe for insecurity. Instead of seeking external approval, focus on developing a strong sense of self-worth and confidence in your own decisions. When you trust yourself and make choices based on your own values, you'll be more likely to stay true to your purpose and live authentically. Lastly, one of the biggest mistakes people make is not taking action. It's easy to dream, plan, and talk about what you want to achieve, but without action, those dreams will remain just that, dreams. Action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be consistent. Without action, you'll never know what you're capable of. It's only through taking steps, even small ones, toward your goals that you begin to see progress. And many people get stuck in the planning phase, thinking they need everything to be perfect before they begin. However, waiting for perfection is often just another form of procrastination. Taking action requires overcoming fear, doubt, and hesitation. But once you start, you build momentum. Even if you fail along the way, the act of moving forward teaches you valuable lessons and brings you closer to your goals. Perfection is a moving target, and the only way to get closer to it is through continuous action and improvement. If you want to achieve anything in life, you have to be willing to take the first step, however imperfect, and keep going until you reach your destination. By avoiding these mistakes, managing your time, stepping outside your comfort zone, learning from your failures, relying on your own validation, and taking consistent action, you set yourself up for a future filled with growth, success, and fulfillment. It's the small, everyday choices that create the life you want, and each decision you make brings you one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. One of the most detrimental mistakes you can make is failing to take personal responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame external circumstances, your upbringing, your job, your environment for where you are in life. However, the truth is that you are the one who controls your responses to these circumstances. While you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you react to it. By refusing to take responsibility, you surrender your power to change your situation and put yourself at the mercy of external factors. This mindset keeps you stuck and powerless, waiting for someone or something else to change before you take action. Taking responsibility means recognizing that you are the creator of your own life. It's about acknowledging that every decision you make, every action you take, and every thought you entertain plays a role in shaping your reality. When you take full responsibility, you stop blaming others or external circumstances for your situation, and you start taking proactive steps to create the life you want. It doesn't mean that everything will always go your way, but it gives you the ability to adapt, grow, and make decisions that lead you toward success. When you own your life, you become empowered to take action and make changes that align with your goals and dreams. Another mistake people often make is neglecting their personal growth. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that once you've reached a certain point, there's no need to learn or grow anymore. However, this mindset stifles progress and limits your potential. Life is a continuous journey of growth and learning, and those who stop growing eventually become irrelevant. If you want to succeed, you must commit to lifelong learning and development. Whether it's acquiring new skills, reading books, attending seminars, or seeking mentors, personal growth is a key component of success. When you stop learning, you stop evolving. The world is constantly changing, and those who fail to adapt to these changes get left behind. Success doesn't happen by resting on your laurels. It happens by continually improving yourself and your capabilities. Personal growth allows you to remain competitive, innovative, and flexible in an ever-evolving world. Investing in yourself is one of the best decisions you can make. It not only increases your knowledge and skill set, but also boosts your confidence and helps you maintain a growth mindset that will propel you toward greater achievements. Another significant mistake is spending too much time focusing on the opinions of others. Seeking validation and approval from others can create a sense of dependency where your self-worth becomes tied to what other people think of you. This leads to a lack of authenticity and makes it difficult to pursue your true desires or ambitions. The opinions of others are often influenced by their own experiences, biases, and insecurities, and they may not always align with what's best for you. By constantly seeking validation, you're giving away your power, allowing others to dictate your choices. If you constantly care about what others think, you'll never fully be yourself. You'll shape your actions, decisions, and goals around what others expect, rather than pursuing what truly makes you happy or fulfilled. This creates a life of unfulfilled potential as you're not living according to your own values, but rather of living up to someone else's standards. True fulfillment comes from being authentic and pursuing what aligns with your own purpose. It's important to learn to trust your own judgment and to let go of the need for constant external validation. When you embrace who you are, you free yourself from the need to seek approval and empower yourself to live a life true to your own vision. A common mistake that many people make is avoiding uncomfortable situations or conversations. It's natural to want to avoid conflict or situations that challenge us emotionally or mentally. However, this avoidance only delays necessary growth and prevents you from addressing issues that need resolution. Uncomfortable conversations are often the most important ones, whether it's with a loved one, a colleague, or yourself. Avoiding them can create lingering tension, unresolved conflicts, and missed opportunities for growth. Confronting difficult situations head-on may feel intimidating, but it is through these challenges that you develop resilience and learn how to handle adversity. By avoiding confrontation, you may allow problems to fester, which can cause them to grow into much bigger issues down the line. Facing discomfort directly is essential for personal development, building stronger relationships, and ultimately achieving success. The ability to handle uncomfortable situations with grace and maturity is a skill that will serve you in both your personal and professional life. Another mistake that people often make is failing to manage their finances properly. Money management is a skill that, if neglected, can have long-term consequences. Many people live paycheck to paycheck, accumulating debt and failing to save for the future. This lack of financial planning can create stress, limit opportunities, and leave you unprepared for emergencies or retirement. Successful people understand the importance of financial discipline. They set a budget, track their spending, save consistently, and invest wisely. The key to managing your finances is living within your means and planning for the future. This doesn't mean you have to live a life of deprivation, but it does require being intentional about your spending and saving habits. It's important to educate yourself about personal finance, budgeting, and investing. Financial security is not achieved overnight. It requires discipline, patience, and long-term planning. When you take control of your finances, you create the foundation for a stable, stress-free life and open up possibilities for growth and freedom in the future. Lastly, the mistake of not prioritizing relationships can significantly affect your happiness and success. Life is not just about personal achievements or career advancement. It's also about the connections you build with others. Relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, provide emotional support, wisdom, and a sense of belonging. When you neglect your relationships in pursuit of career or material success, you risk alienating the people who matter most. Building strong, meaningful relationships takes effort and time, but it's one of the most rewarding investments you can make. Your relationships provide the foundation of emotional resilience and joy, allowing you to face life's challenges with greater strength and perspective. Nurturing relationships with those who care about you enriches your life and creates a network of support that will help you during difficult times. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that success is only about what you achieve alone. Relationships are the true treasures that make life worth living. By avoiding these mistakes, taking personal responsibility, focusing on personal growth, trusting your own judgment, Confronting discomfort, managing your finances, and prioritizing relationships, you can create a life filled with meaning, fulfillment, and success. Each of these areas plays a vital role in shaping the person you become and the future you create. Take control of your life today and make conscious decisions that align with your values and goals. One of the most damaging mistakes people make is living life on autopilot. Far too many individuals go through their daily routines without truly engaging with their surroundings or making conscious decisions about their lives. They simply follow the same patterns, habits, and routines without questioning whether they are truly moving in the direction they desire. This mindset of passively allowing life to happen can lead to missed opportunities, stagnation, and a sense of unfulfillment. Living on autopilot often occurs because it feels easier to follow the familiar. It's comfortable, predictable, and requires little effort. However, this comfort can be the enemy of growth. When you're on autopilot, you're not actively pursuing your dreams or making intentional progress toward your goals. Life becomes a series of tasks, and before you know it, years have passed without achieving anything meaningful or fulfilling. To break free from this mistake, you need to become intentional about how you spend your time and what you focus on each day. Take the time to evaluate your current habits and routines. Are they helping you move closer to your goals, or are they simply distractions that keep you stuck? Engaging in mindful, purposeful actions every day will allow you to take control of your life and start creating the future you desire. Another major mistake is overthinking and analyzing every decision to the point of paralysis. While it's important to be thoughtful and considerate when making choices, overthinking can prevent you from taking any action at all. People often become so consumed by the fear of making the wrong decision that they avoid making any decisions altogether. The result is inaction and missed opportunities. The reality is, no decision is ever entirely risk-free, and there's no way to predict the future with certainty. However, the only way to move forward in life is to make decisions and take action. Even if you make a mistake, it can be corrected, and you'll likely learn valuable lessons in the process. Your overthinking often stems from fear of failure, but failure is not something to fear, it's something to embrace as a part of the learning process. To avoid this mistake, practice making decisions more quickly and confidently. Trust in your ability to make the right choice and accept that not every decision will be perfect. The key is to keep moving forward, learning and adapting as you go. Failing to set boundaries is another mistake that can have a significant negative impact on your life. Many people struggle with saying no, either because they want to please others or because they fear conflict. However, failing to establish clear boundaries often leads to burnout, resentment, and frustration. When you don't set boundaries, you allow other people's needs, demands, and expectations to overwhelm your own. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your well-being and ensuring that you have the time and energy to focus on what truly matters to you. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overcommitted and stretched too thin. You end up neglecting your own needs and putting everyone else first, which can lead to emotional and physical exhaustion. Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish, it's about respecting your own limits and ensuring that you protect your energy, time, and mental health. By learning to say no when necessary and communicating your limits clearly, you'll create more space for the things and people that truly matter in your life. Your boundaries help you live more intentionally and preserve your sense of self. Another mistake is living in the past. Many people find themselves constantly reminiscing about past successes, failures, or missed opportunities, and this can keep them trapped in a cycle of regret. While it's important to reflect on the past to learn from it, dwelling on it for too long can prevent you from moving forward. The past is gone, and there's nothing you can do to change it, but the future is still yours to shape. Living in the past causes you to miss out on the opportunities of today. It often breeds a mindset of comparison where you measure your current situation against the better times of the past. But this comparison only steals your present happiness and prevents you from appreciating the opportunities you have now. To avoid this mistake, you need to let go of the past and focus on what you can control today. Use your past experiences as learning tools, but don't let them define your present or future. Make the conscious decision to live in the now, appreciating the opportunities and moments that are available to you. Another mistake many people make is failing to take calculated risks. Playing it safe may seem like a wise choice, but in reality, it often leads to missed opportunities and a lack of progress. Taking risks doesn't mean being reckless. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and being willing to face uncertainty in order to achieve something greater. Those who avoid taking risks may feel secure in the short term, but in the long run, they may look back and realize that their fear of failure kept them from reaching their full potential. Growth and success come from taking risks, trying new things, and embracing the unknown. Even if things don't work out as planned, taking a risk teaches you resilience, adaptability, and the ability to think on your feet. To avoid this mistake, practice embracing discomfort and seeking out opportunities that challenge you. Calculate the potential risks, but don't let fear paralyze you. The rewards of taking a chance often far outweigh the potential downsides. Another critical mistake people make is neglecting their mental health. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to focus on work, family, and responsibilities while neglecting your own well-being. However, mental health is just as important as physical health, and ignoring it can lead to burnout, anxiety, depression, and a diminished quality of life. Many people make the mistake of thinking they must push through stress or difficult emotions without addressing them. They believe that taking care of their mental health is a luxury they can't afford, but the truth is that mental well-being is a necessity. It's important to prioritize self-care, seek professional help when needed, and engage in activities that promote relaxation and emotional balance. Taking care of your mental health allows you to perform better in every other area of life. You can't be your best self if you're overwhelmed, anxious, or burned out. Investing time in managing your mental well-being ensures that you'll have the energy and clarity to pursue your goals with focus and resilience. Lastly, one mistake that can drastically hinder progress is failing to adapt to change. The world is constantly evolving, and those who resist change often find themselves stuck in outdated ways of thinking and doing things. Change is inevitable, and it's essential to remain flexible and open to new ideas, strategies, and ways of doing things. People who resist change often hold on to outdated beliefs, technologies, or methods simply because they're familiar. This resistance can cause them to miss out on innovative opportunities or better ways of achieving success. To thrive in today's fast-paced world, you must be willing to embrace change and adapt to new circumstances. The key is to maintain a mindset of growth and curiosity. When you're open to change, you remain agile and better equipped to navigate challenges. Adaptability allows you to stay relevant, competitive, and capable of achieving your goals no matter what changes come your way. By avoiding these mistakes, living on autopilot, overthinking, failing to set boundaries, living in the past, avoiding risks, neglecting mental health, and resisting change, you can create a life filled with purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Each of these areas plays a crucial role in shaping the person you become and the future you create. Start taking intentional actions today, and you'll find yourself living the life you've always dreamed of. One of the biggest mistakes people make is avoiding self-reflection. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life without taking the time to pause and assess where you're going and why. Self-reflection is a powerful tool that allows you to evaluate your actions, thoughts, and emotions, helping you identify patterns that may be limiting your progress. By avoiding self-reflection, you lose the opportunity to learn from your experiences and make adjustments in your life that could lead to personal growth and success. It's easy to blame circumstances or other people for your situation, but the real growth happens when you take a step back, look inward, and assess whether your decisions are aligned with your values and goals. Self-reflection helps you become more self-aware, making it easier to identify areas for improvement and to ensure that you are making conscious, intentional choices. Without this practice, you risk continuing to live on autopilot, unaware of how your actions and mindset may be keeping you stuck. Another mistake that many people make is comparing themselves to others. Easy to fall into the trap of measuring your progress against someone else's, especially in a world dominated by social media and public success stories. However, comparing yourself to others only breeds dissatisfaction, insecurity, and feelings of inadequacy. Everyone's journey is different, and what works for one person may not be the path for you. When you compare yourself to others, you lose sight of your own unique strengths and abilities, and instead focus on what you lack or what you haven't achieved. This can prevent you from celebrating your own successes and progress, as you're too busy measuring yourself against someone else's standards. The truth is, success looks different for everyone, and trying to replicate someone else's journey will only leave you feeling frustrated. Instead, focus on your own path, set your own goals, and measure your success by your personal growth, not by what others are doing. A critical mistake is letting fear dictate your decisions. Fear is a natural emotion, but it should never control your actions. Whether it's fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, allowing fear to hold you back can prevent you from reaching your full potential. Fear can paralyze you, keep you in your comfort zone, and stop you from pursuing the opportunities that could lead to greater happiness and success. Many people let fear prevent them from taking risks, trying new things, or pursuing their dreams. The truth is, fear often stems from uncertainty or a lack of confidence, but it doesn't have to be a barrier. Successful individuals understand that fear is part of the process, and they push through it instead of allowing it to stop them. Embracing fear, understanding it, and using it as a source of motivation can actually propel you toward your goals. The key is not to let fear control you, but to use it as a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone and moving closer to growth. Another significant mistake people make is overcommitting themselves. In an effort to please others, be productive, or achieve more, people often take on more responsibilities than they can handle. This leads to stress, burnout, and feelings of overwhelm. Overcommitting means that you're constantly stretched too thin, trying to juggle multiple tasks, roles, or expectations. While it may feel noble to take on everything, the reality is that spreading yourself too thin results in a lack of focus, decreased quality of work, and a decline in your overall well-being. To avoid this mistake, it's important to learn to set realistic expectations and boundaries. Not every opportunity is the right one for you, and it's okay to say no when it's necessary to preserve your time and energy for what truly matters. By focusing on fewer commitments, you'll be able to dedicate more time and effort to the things that align with your goals and values. A common mistake is neglecting the importance of consistency. Many people start with great enthusiasm, setting ambitious goals and making big plans, only to falter when the initial excitement fades. Consistency is the key to making lasting progress, and without it, your efforts will be short-lived. Whether it's working on a skill, building a business, or improving your health, results are rarely achieved overnight. It's the small, consistent actions you take every day that lead to significant long-term success. Neglecting consistency means giving up too soon when results aren't immediate, which can ultimately prevent you from achieving your desired outcomes. Success requires persistence, discipline, and the willingness to keep going even when progress feels slow. By developing the habit of consistency, you build momentum that propels you toward your goals, no matter the challenges you face along the way. Another mistake is failing to embrace failure as a learning opportunity. Society often views failure as something negative, something to avoid at all costs. However, failure is an essential part of success. Every failure brings valuable lessons that can guide you toward improvement and better decision-making in the future. When you fear failure, you limit your potential to grow and learn from your mistakes. Those who embrace failure as part of the process are more likely to take risks, try new things, and ultimately succeed. Each failure is a stepping stone on the path to success, teaching you resilience, adaptability, and perseverance. By reframing failure as a learning opportunity, you can shift your mindset and use it to propel you forward rather than letting it discourage you from trying again. One mistake that people make is not surrounding themselves with the right people. The people you spend your time with have a huge impact on your mindset, energy, and growth. If you surround yourself with negative, toxic, or unsupportive individuals, it can drain your motivation, limit your potential, and hold you back from achieving your goals. Conversely, surrounding yourself with positive, inspiring, and like-minded people can elevate your mindset, encourage personal growth, and help you stay focused on your aspirations. It's important to choose your circle wisely, as the influence of those around you can either push you toward success or hold you back. Seek out relationships with people who inspire, challenge, and support you, and distance yourself from those who drag you down or discourage your dreams. The right people can help you stay accountable, provide encouragement when needed, and offer valuable insights and perspectives. Lastly, a critical mistake people make is not practicing gratitude. In the pursuit of goals and success, it's easy to get caught up in what you have or what you haven't achieved yet. However, failing to appreciate what you already have can lead to dissatisfaction and unhappiness. Gratitude is a powerful tool that shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, helping you cultivate a positive mindset. When you take time each day to reflect on the things you're grateful for, you start to notice the blessings around you and create a sense of contentment. Gratitude helps you stay grounded, reduces stress, and improves your overall well-being. By practicing gratitude, you increase your chances of success because you approach life with a positive, abundance-driven mindset. By avoiding these mistakes, avoiding self-reflection, comparing yourself to others, letting fear dictate your decisions, overcommitting, neglecting consistency, fearing failure, surrounding yourself with the wrong people, and failing to practice gratitude, you create a life of intention, growth, and fulfillment. Each of these mistakes can hinder your progress and limit your potential. But by being aware of them, taking proactive steps to avoid them, you can set yourself on a path to success and happiness. One of the most common yet detrimental mistakes people make is neglecting their health. In the pursuit of career success, financial gain, or personal achievements, many people overlook their physical and mental well-being. They may skip exercise, overeat, neglect sleep, or dismiss stress as just a normal part of life. However, health is the foundation on which everything else in life is built. Without it, no amount of wealth or success will bring true happiness or fulfillment. A lack of focus on health often leads to burnout, illness, and a significant decrease in quality of life. When you're constantly tired, stressed, or physically unwell, it becomes nearly impossible to perform at your best in any area of life. The key to success and happiness is not just about working hard or chasing goals, it's about finding balance and taking care of yourself. Regular exercise, healthy eating, proper sleep, and managing stress are all crucial for maintaining your energy levels, focus, and overall well-being. If you fail to prioritize your health, it will eventually catch up with you, limiting your potential and the life you could lead. Another mistake people make is procrastination. It's easy to put off tasks or delay making decisions, especially when they seem overwhelming or uncomfortable. However, procrastination only creates more stress and piles on the pressure as deadlines approach. The longer you delay, the more difficult the task becomes and the more it weighs on your mind. By procrastinating, you rob yourself of the opportunity to make steady progress toward your goals and often end up rushing to finish tasks at the last minute. The key to overcoming procrastination is breaking tasks into smaller, manageable steps and taking immediate action. Rather than waiting for the perfect moment or hoping that motivation will magically strike, take one small step forward. By creating momentum, you build confidence, reduce stress, and improve your productivity. Procrastination often comes from fear or doubt, but the truth is that taking action, even in small increments, moves you closer to your goals and makes the task less daunting. Many people also make the mistake of not learning how to manage their time effectively. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and once it's gone, you can never get it back. Without effective time management, it's easy to become overwhelmed and disorganized, trying to juggle too many things at once. You may spend your days reacting to emergencies, responding to emails, and attending meetings, but never actually making progress on your most important goals. Time management isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about focusing on what truly matters and making time for those priorities. This involves setting clear goals, creating a structured schedule, and learning to say no to distractions or activities that don't align with your objectives. Effective time management allows you to stay focused, avoid burnout, and ensure that you are making steady progress toward your personal and professional goals. By mastering your time, you create more space for the things and people that matter most to you, and you reduce unnecessary stress. Another mistake people make is not practicing self-discipline. It's easy to give in to temptation, procrastinate, or get distracted. But the key to success is building the discipline to stay focused and committed to your long-term goals. Without self-discipline, you may start projects but never finish them, or you may repeatedly fall short of the goals you set for yourself. Developing self-discipline requires creating good habits, setting clear boundaries, and learning to delay gratification for the sake of greater rewards in the future. It's about staying consistent even when you don't feel like it, doing what needs to be done despite distractions, and persevering through challenges. The more you cultivate self-discipline, the easier it becomes to make progress and achieve your dreams. It's a skill that serves as the foundation for everything you want to accomplish. Without it, success becomes a series of false starts and missed opportunities. One of the most dangerous mistakes people make is avoiding conflict or difficult conversations. Many people fear confrontation or try to avoid difficult conversations to maintain harmony, but avoiding conflict often leads to unresolved issues, frustration, and resentment. Whether it's in personal relationships or at work, avoiding conflict can create a toxic environment where problems fester and grow. Addressing issues head-on, while difficult, is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and moving forward. When you engage in open, honest, and respectful communication, you create the opportunity for resolution and understanding. A conflict can be an opportunity for growth, problem-solving, and deeper connection if handled correctly. By facing difficult conversations and situations directly, you prevent misunderstandings and build stronger, more authentic relationships. Avoiding conflict may seem like an easier option, but in the long run, it only causes more harm and delays the resolution of important issues. Many people also make the mistake of relying too heavily on external validation. In today's world, it's easy to seek approval and affirmation from others, especially with the rise of social media. However, basing your self-worth on the opinions of others can create a fragile foundation for your self-esteem. When you rely too much on external validation, your happiness becomes dependent on others' perceptions of you, leaving you vulnerable to criticism, rejection, or comparison. True self-worth comes from within. It's about knowing your own value and being confident in who you are, regardless of how others perceive you. When you learn to validate yourself and trust your own judgment, you become less affected by external opinions and more focused on pursuing your goals and dreams. External validation may feel good in the short term, but it doesn't provide lasting fulfillment. Learning to appreciate and love yourself is the key to building true self-confidence and resilience. Another common mistake is not learning how to manage your emotions. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but letting them control your actions can lead to impulsive decisions, regrets, and unnecessary conflict. Many people make the mistake of reacting to situations based on their emotions without pausing to consider the long-term consequences of their actions. Whether it's anger, frustration, or sadness, unmanaged emotions can cloud your judgment and derail your progress. Emotional intelligence is about understanding and managing your emotions in a healthy way. This involves learning to pause before reacting, practicing empathy, and developing strategies to cope with stress and negative emotions. When you learn how to manage your emotions, you make better decisions, maintain healthier relationships, and remain focused on your long-term goals. Lastly, many people make the mistake of failing to plan for the future. It's easy to get caught up in the present moment and forget about long-term goals, but failing to plan for the future can lead to missed opportunities and regret. Planning ahead allows you to set clear objectives, map out the steps necessary to achieve them, and prepare for potential challenges along the way. Without a plan, you're simply reacting to life circumstances rather than actively shaping your future. Successful people understand the importance of long-term planning and consistently take steps toward their goals, even if those steps are small. By taking time to plan and set a course of action, you give yourself a clear direction and ensure that you are making progress toward the life you want to create. By avoiding these mistakes, neglecting health, procrastinating, failing to manage time, lacking self-discipline, avoiding conflict, seeking external validation, failing to manage emotions, and not planning for the future, you can create a life of fulfillment, success, and happiness. These errors may seem small on the surface, but they compound over time, holding you back from reaching your true potential. By being mindful of these mistakes and taking proactive steps to avoid them, you pave the way for a brighter, more intentional future. One of the most detrimental mistakes that people make is the failure to take full responsibility for their own lives. Too often individuals look outward, blaming their circumstances, their environment, or other people for their struggles and failures. While it's true that we can't control every aspect of our lives, we can control how we respond to them. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that ultimately you are the one in charge of your choices, actions, and decisions. It means accepting that the path you walk is shaped by the decisions you make every single day. When you refuse to take responsibility, you give away your power to external factors, making it easier to justify inaction or blame others for your dissatisfaction. This mindset limits personal growth and often keeps individuals stuck in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. By embracing responsibility, you empower yourself to take control of your future, learn from your mistakes, and actively make choices that move you closer to your goals. It requires courage to accept your own role in every situation, but it is also the key to achieving a sense of control, purpose, and fulfillment. Another mistake people often make is focusing too much on immediate gratification. In a world where instant results and rewards are more accessible than ever, it's easy to prioritize short-term pleasures over long-term gains. Whether it's indulging in unhealthy foods, spending money impulsively, or giving in to distractions, these quick fixes may provide temporary satisfaction but don't contribute to meaningful or lasting success. The problem with chasing immediate gratification is that it keeps you stuck in the present moment, robbing you of the opportunity to plan and work toward your long-term goals. Successful individuals know that real rewards come from consistent, disciplined effort over time. They're willing to sacrifice short-term comforts for the sake of long-term growth and success. It's the ability to delay gratification, to put in the work today for a better tomorrow, that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who only dream of achieving. Learning to manage your impulses and make decisions based on long-term benefits is crucial for building a life that is both satisfying and successful. A third mistake people make is failing to ask for help when they need it. Many people pride themselves on their independence and feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness. However, this mindset can actually hinder growth and lead to unnecessary struggles. Everyone encounters challenges that they can't solve alone, and asking for help doesn't diminish your worth or capabilities. It's an act of wisdom. Whether it's seeking guidance from a mentor, leaning on friends or family, or consulting a professional, there is strength in recognizing when you need support. By reaching out to others, you gain fresh perspectives, advice, and resources that can accelerate your progress. The fear of appearing weak or incompetent often prevents people from asking for help, but in reality, seeking assistance demonstrates emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It shows that you understand your own limitations and are open to learning from others, which is essential for growth. Don't be afraid to rely on others when necessary. It can make all the difference in your ability to overcome challenges and reach your goals. Many people also make the mistake of living with a fixed mindset rather than a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence are static, meaning that you either have talent or you don't. This mentality can limit your potential and prevent you from embracing challenges. When faced with difficulties, people with a fixed mindset tend to give up easily, believing that failure is a reflection of their lack of ability. In contrast, a growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This perspective encourages you to embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, and learn from criticism. With a growth mindset, failures are viewed not as roadblocks but as opportunities to grow and improve. People with a growth mindset are more likely to take on challenges, learn new skills, and ultimately achieve greater success. In adopting a growth mindset empowers you to take ownership of your learning and development rather than resigning yourself to limitations. Another critical mistake is underestimating the power of small, consistent actions. Too often, people believe that major success requires drastic one-time efforts, and they overlook the impact of the small daily decisions and habits that lead to success. It's easy to become discouraged when progress doesn't appear to be immediate, but the truth is that incremental progress is often the most sustainable. Small, consistent actions compound over time, creating significant results. Whether it's reading a book a day, saving a small amount of money each week, or exercising for just 20 minutes a day, these seemingly insignificant actions add up and can completely transform your life. Success isn't about big, dramatic leaps, about doing the right things consistently, even when you don't see immediate results. By focusing on small, positive actions every day, you build momentum that will carry you through to your larger goals. Many individuals also make the mistake of ignoring their intuition. In our society, logic and reason are often emphasized over emotional intelligence or gut feelings. While it's important to make informed decisions, your intuition is a valuable tool that can guide you toward the right choices. Ignoring your gut feeling or inner voice can lead to decisions that don't align with your true desires or values. Intuition is the subconscious wisdom that comes from experience and awareness, and it often guides you in ways that logic alone cannot. Trusting your intuition doesn't mean ignoring facts or acting impulsively. It means listening to the inner wisdom that you've gained over time. When you learn to trust your instincts, you align yourself with decisions that feel authentic and true to who you are. Intuition can be a powerful ally in both personal and professional life, providing clarity and direction when faced with uncertainty. Another common mistake is failing to continuously educate yourself. The world is constantly changing, and those who fail to keep learning risk falling behind. Whether it's through formal education, self-study, or learning from experiences, continual education is essential for growth and adaptability. People often make the mistake of thinking that once they graduate or reach a certain level of success, they no longer need to invest in their education. However, the most successful people are lifelong learners who are always looking for ways to improve their knowledge and skills. This commitment to learning opens doors to new opportunities and keeps you adaptable in an ever-changing world. When you stop learning, you stop growing, and you risk becoming stagnant or irrelevant. Make a habit of seeking out new knowledge, whether through books, courses, podcasts, or personal experiences, and you will position yourself for continued success and fulfillment. Another mistake people make is neglecting the importance of rest and recovery. In a culture that glorifies busyness and hustle, many people push themselves too hard and neglect the need for rest. They may work long hours, sacrifice sleep, or continuously push through stress without taking time to recharge. However, rest is essential for maintaining high performance and mental clarity. Without adequate rest, the body and mind become fatigued and productivity suffers. Taking regular breaks, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that promote relaxation are crucial for maintaining your energy levels and overall well-being. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity for optimal functioning. By prioritizing rest and recovery, you ensure that you can perform at your best and avoid burnout. Finally, one of the biggest mistakes people make is not learning how to handle setbacks. Life is full of challenges, and no one is immune to failure or adversity. However, how you respond to setbacks can determine your success. Many people make the mistake of letting failures define them, or they become discouraged when things don't go as planned. Setbacks are a natural part of life, and they are often the stepping stones to greater success. The key is to view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than insurmountable obstacles. By staying resilient and maintaining a positive attitude in the face of adversity, you build the strength and perseverance needed to overcome future challenges. Embrace setbacks as part of the process, learn from them, and keep moving forward with determination. By avoiding these mistakes, taking no responsibility for your life, focusing on immediate gratification, failing to ask for help, maintaining a fixed mindset, neglecting small actions, ignoring intuition, failing to educate yourself, overworking without rest, and allowing setbacks to define you, you can build a life of resilience, success, and fulfillment. Taking conscious control over these areas will empower you to take bold, positive actions that lead to lasting personal growth and achievement.